Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
We have a lot to get to this morning, including how airlines are bracing for record Memorial Day weekend travel, plus what you need to know before you hit the road.
Also, Matt Gutman in Indianapolis about to show us live on air how to rescue yourself from a sinking car. He's got advice from experts on how to save your life if you do get trapped.
You do not want to miss that in our next half hour, but we're going to begin with a deadly tornado outbreak. At least 20 twisters were reported in 3 states. Several people were killed and at least a dozen injured. The small town of Greenfield, Iowa was hit hard, and our Victor Akindo is there on the scene for us this morning. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. The town of Greenfield is hurting this morning. So many homes look like this now, a tornado leveling this one. Neighbors say that it happened within just a matter of minutes. Their lives totally upended. You can see clear inside to what was the kitchen. You can make out the refrigerator just next to it, that cabinet there. Authorities confirming multiple people have died and at least a dozen were injured.
Oh, house gone. House gone.
Overnight, deadly twisters ripping through the heartland.
If you're in Red Oak, please be in your shelter now.
Swaths of southern Iowa completely flattened in their path. Greenfield, just outside Des Moines, hit especially hard. Authorities say there were confirmed fatalities and at least a dozen people were taken away in ambulances.
We do believe we have everybody accounted for, but we just want to make sure that with our search efforts, obviously this tornado has devastated a good portion of this town and community.
Governor Reynolds proclaiming a disaster emergency for 15 counties.
There's just a bunch of crashing. I heard windows shattering, and I heard branches from trees creaking and snapping.
Houses with roofs ripped off. This car flipped onto its hood.
I'm not normally a guy that gets scared, but I was scared.
His son's home ripped off its foundation.
I saw my house. I was first off glad I was not in it. But I mean, there's just all your memories in your own home, everything that you worked so hard to build, just gone.
Entire blocks wiped out. In nearby Carbon, debris flying everywhere.
Is somebody here?
Storm chasers rushing to this destroyed house.
Are you in shelter? All right, nobody's hurt?
Looking for survivors trapped under what remains of their home. While in Prescott, this wind farm on fire. Turbines destroyed once that powerful storm moved through. Many in the tight-knit community back in Greenfield still in shock.
To see all these homes that I've known my entire life to be completely flattened, completely gone, was very devastating and surreal.
Just heartbreaking scenes. The closest hospital sustained damage too. Now a triage center has been set up at Greenfield High School. Greenfield is home to about 2,000 people. Neighbors describe this place as the type of town where everyone knows each other, and this morning their hearts are broken. Michael?
And ours are broken with them as well. Thank you so much for that, Victor. Let's go to Sam Champion with more on the threat that's on the move this morning as we get closer to the Memorial Day weekend. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Michael. So tough to see those images. And those storms started firing yesterday morning with warnings and then went throughout the day into the night. Let me show you more than 300 storm reports from this. Look at the ones in red. Those are tornado reports. Look at the more than 66 hail reports. Some of these are softball size. 244 wind reports, and I'm talking about 70 to 100 mile per hour winds. This was a disastrous day. Here's where these thunderstorms move. They drop a little bit to the south. They will refire later today. Waco, you're in line. Dallas, you're up for it. Shreveport, Texarkana, Little Rock. Watch for this. It is our highest threat for tornadoes and damaging winds. However, this storm line extends all the way into the northeast, so I need everybody in that yellow area thinking about the storm. Thursday as well, more storms will fire. George?
Okay, Sam, thanks. We're going to get the latest now on Donald Trump's criminal trial. The defense has rested after the former president did not take the stand. Closing arguments set for next week. Aaron Katersky's at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. 1 week from today, the jury should have the case of the people of the state of New York versus Donald J. Trump. He's charged with falsifying business records to keep secret from voters a 2016 hush payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. The jury is going to wait for the judge to instruct them, and the judge is going to spend the next 2 days finalizing those instructions. The defense wants the judge to say hush money itself is not illegal, Prosecutors asked the judge to say that Trump can be convicted even if he didn't falsify the records personally, but caused others to do so. Trump did not testify, as he said repeatedly he would. Instead, jurors heard testimony from 22 other witnesses. They saw nearly 300 exhibits, and they are going to hear closing arguments next Tuesday, George.
And Aaron, in that slow-moving classified documents case, new evidence released suggesting possible obstruction by the former president?
Yeah, the new trove of unsealed evidence includes photographs of Trump's valet, Walt Nauta, purportedly moving boxes that contain classified material at the former president's Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago. The lid on the top box is missing. It's just not there. And this is just some of the evidence that special counsel Jack Smith had amassed. There was a subpoena at the time for those materials to be returned. Nauta today is going to ask that charges against him be dismissed. There's no telling when Trump is going to stand trial. So, George, that leaves the case right here in New York as the only one so far that Trump faces to actually go before a jury.
Right,
George.
almost certainly the only one before the election. Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Former president also playing cleanup yesterday after posting a Nazi phrase on his website and suggesting restrictions on contraception in an interview. Rachel Scott has the story. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you. Former President Donald Trump was asked directly whether he would support restrictions on birth control. The former president said it was something they were looking at, only to backtrack hours later.
This morning, Donald Trump walking back his comments, suggesting he's open to restricting birth control if reelected.
Do you support any restrictions on a person's right to contraception?
Well, we're looking at that, and I'm going to have a policy on that very shortly. And I think it's something that you'll find interesting. And it's another issue that's very interesting. But you will find it, I think, very smart. I think it's a smart decision. But we'll be releasing it very soon.
In an interview with a local Pittsburgh TV station, the former president asked to clarify if that meant he would in fact support restrictions on contraception.
You may want to support some restrictions, like the morning after pill or something.
We are also, things really do have a lot to do with the states. And some states are going to have different policies than others.
The Biden campaign seizing on those words, saying women across the country are already suffering from Donald Trump's post-Roe nightmare. And if he wins a second term, it's clear he wants to go even further. And then hours later, Trump backtracked, writing on social media he has never and will never advocate imposing restrictions on birth control or other contraceptives. But that's something he never made clear in the interview. The former president often boasts about appointing 3 of the 5 Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade, clearing the way for 21 states to ban or restrict access to abortion.
We broke Roe v. Wade.
Just weeks ago, Trump told Time magazine he wouldn't intervene if states wanted to monitor or punish pregnant women seeking abortion, saying it's irrelevant whether I'm comfortable or not. It's totally irrelevant because the states are going to make those decisions.
There are still major questions about whether the former president supports further restricting access to the abortion pill mifepristone, which is used in more than half of abortions in the United States. Trump said he would release his position weeks ago, and he still has not done so, Michael.
Yep, still waiting there. Still waiting, Rachel. Thank you so much for that. Now we're going to turn to new details this morning on the deadly turbulence aboard a Singapore Airlines flight. The NTSB is joining the investigation into the incident that killed 1 passenger and injured dozens more. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez joins us now with more. Good morning to you, Gio.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, truly tragic incident. And we're talking here about something called clear air turbulence. That's what it appears to be. That's when the weather is nice and smooth. People feel safe to stand up. They take off their seatbelts. But then instantly, with little notice, we've got mayhem. This morning, the NTSB heading to Southeast Asia to investigate that deadly turbulence incident on a flight from London to Singapore that killed 1 passenger and sent at least 104 others to medical centers. The images are dramatic. Passengers being taken off on stretchers, treated under tents on the tarmac. Inside the plane, oxygen masks dangling from the ceiling, dented overhead bins, blood on the back of a seat. Passengers seen with cuts and bruises, bottles and food all over the floor.
It was really, really quick, which is why, I think nobody could really respond to it. The plane started shaking, but, it kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Zafran Azmir was on board that flight.
I saw people from across the aisle just, going completely horizontal, hitting the ceiling and landing back down in like really awkward positions. People like getting massive gashes in their head, concussions.
Andrew Davies also on board.
The worst thing I saw was the two people, obviously apart from the gentleman who lost his life, the two people who had very severe lacerations on the top of their head. There was a lady screaming in pain with her bad back.
Among the 211 passengers and 18 crew members, 4 Americans. The CEO for Singapore Airlines speaking out overnight, saying they're cooperating with the investigation.
We are very sorry for the traumatic experience that everyone on board SQ321 went through.
Here's what we know. The plane was flying from London to Singapore, but hit an air pocket over Myanmar. While it appears the sky may have been clear, the sudden turbulence made the plane drop 100 feet, then climb 300 feet. The people inside experiencing rapid negative and positive G-forces. And if they didn't have a seatbelt on, they would have hit the ceiling, then slammed into the floor. The plane making an emergency landing in Bangkok.
As of now, most commercial airplanes have no way to detect this kind of clear air turbulence. We believe that the weather was fairly good. We believe that the airplane had its weather radar on. The seatbelt sign apparently only came on a few seconds prior to hitting this turbulence. 2 of the injured Americans. At least 6 passengers injured so badly that they are in critical condition this morning. The passenger who lost his life, 73-year-old British national Jeff Kitchen. A Bangkok airport manager says they believe he may have suffered a heart attack, but that has not been confirmed.
And we, of course, are thinking of his family. And again, the American NTSB will now join in on this investigation. But now so many people have incidents like these on their minds because there are so many people traveling right now, Rob.
And as Americans gear up for the big holiday travel weekend, Gio, how are some of the busiest airports in the country, like where you are there in Chicago, how are they preparing?
Yeah, that's right, Robin. So United brought us onto the tarmac here at Chicago O'Hare. This plane's going to Orlando. That's one of the top destinations this year for Memorial Day. We're talking about 4,400 flights a day just from United. That's 3 flights taking off every single minute. Tomorrow's going to be the busiest before the holiday, 53,000 flights. Then you're looking at Friday, 50,000 flights. So these airports are going to be really packed. Make sure you come here early and make sure that you get the airlines app on your phone so that you can make any quick changes that you need to make there, Michael.
All right, Gio, thank you. In other words, give yourself a lot of time. We always appreciate you there standing on the tarmac. See you in a little bit. And you know, holiday road travel and road trips are expected to reach record levels as well. Janae Norman is tracking what to expect. Good morning, Janae.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Gio just mentioned Orlando. Hurt says that that's one of the cities with the highest demand for rental cars because so many people will be hitting the road. So buckle up because this is expected to be one of the busiest Memorial Day travel rush ever on the road, according to AAA. An estimated a staggering 38.5 million people are expected to travel by car, the highest ever since tracking began back in 2000. That's up about 2% from 2019, up 4% from last year, and that means traffic and congestion in many areas. Planning ahead, of course, can help. So the folks at NREX who analyze traffic data, they say that if you leave Thursday or Friday, you got to get going early to really avoid that morning rush or wait until the evening. And when you're returning home on Sunday or Monday, they say that you'll want to time your travel to avoid the evening commute. The worst time to be on the roads, according to AAA, will be from 3 to 7 p.m. those days. And they say that drive times could take up to 90% longer than usual. So you'll want to make sure that you have a full tank of gas. A regular gallon of gas will run you about $3.61 right now. That is about a nickel more from where gas prices were last year. But guys, it's almost summer, so there's good news.
Yeah, they're always that silver lining you bring us, Janae. Thank you. All right. We got a big NBA matchup overnight. Another big deal for Caitlin Clark. Will has all the deets for us. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning to one and all. So what do Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark have in common, aside from being singularly popular figures of their eras? Wilson basketballs. Clark now becomes the only athlete since Michael Jordan to have a signature collection with Wilson, the sporting goods manufacturer, which also makes the game balls for the WNBA. Clark is also the first female athlete ever to have her own Wilson collection, and you can buy the signature balls, which look pretty cool if you ask me, starting this weekend.
That's what they play with in the WNBA.
Yes, they do.
Let's talk about the NBA.
Let's talk about it.
What a game.
What a game. Man, between the Pacers and the Celtics last night in Boston, game 1 of the the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana started slow. They were down like 12-0 to start, ultimately tying it up, taking the lead, but with just 6 seconds left on the clock in the game, Jaylen Brown of the Celtics sinks a three-pointer, forces the game into overtime. He got a double bang from Mike Breen, which is a big deal. Indiana trying to hang on. They were unable to fend off Brown and Jason Tatum in overtime. Tatum scoring 10 points in overtime, leading the game with 36 points. Big Papi and Donnie Wahlberg were fired up. That's some Boston royalty. The Celtics win 133-128. Pacers coach Rick Carlisle said the loss was on him, but no matter who it's on, Celtics up 1-0.
I love how you do. You have a shot sheet, and you can do that.
I try my best.
Yeah, they're going to regret that when they had that one and let it go.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you as always, my friend. Coming up, the investigation into Matthew Perry's death, what we know this morning.
Plus, Matt Gutman is standing by in Indiana at a facility the state police use to train for underwater search and rescues.
That is coming up. First, let's go back to Sam.
All right, George, good morning. We talked about the storms. Let's talk about the heat. So suddenly summer in places even like Boston. Good morning, Boston. On our way to 90 degrees. Now, that's a big time heat because we're normally right around 68 degrees. Watch that record heat spread across the country.
Lara and Sam are on a boat. We'll be right back.
We've got the exclusive view behind the table. Every day, right after the show, while the topics are still hot, the ladies go deeper into the moments that make the View the View. The Views Behind the Table podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, I'm Andy Mitchell, a New York Times bestselling author.
And I'm Sabrina Kohlberg, a morning television producer. We're moms of toddlers and best friends of 20 years.
And we both love to talk about being parents, yes, but also pop culture.
So we're combining our two interests by talking to celebrities, writers, and fellow scholars of TV and movies.
Cinema, really.
About what we all can learn from the fictional moms we love to watch.
From ABC Audio and Good Morning America, Pop Culture Moms is out now wherever you listen to podcasts.
How appropriate. Welcome back to GMA. Lara and Sam are on the USS Bataan as the ship heads into New York City's for Fleet Week. They're going to show us the warship's superpower and celebrate. There they are, and celebrate one of the unsung heroes on board. We've got a whole lot ahead with those two.
They got the memo. We're white.
That's true.
All right. Looking forward to that. But now we're going to turn to new details on Matthew Perry. LA police say they're investigating how the actor got the drug, which was ruled a key factor in his death. Kana Whitworth is live in Los Angeles with more. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. So investigators were told that Perry was undergoing ketamine infusion therapy. This is an experimental treatment where they use that powerful anesthetic to combat things like anxiety and other mental health issues. But investigators also say that his last known treatment was a week and a half before his death.
This morning, an active investigation into the death of beloved Friends star Matthew Perry.
I'm not great at the advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment?
As authorities reveal for the first time, they're looking into who supplied the actor with ketamine, the drug that led to his death. The LAPD says the case is open and ongoing, writing in a statement that it has continued its investigation into the circumstances of Mr. Perry's death as they work closely with several departments, including the DEA and U.S. Postal Inspection Service.
You want to talk to many people as possible, and you want to see his phone data. Who was he talking to prior to that? Anybody that could possibly have given him ketamine. Was he getting it through the mail? That could provide some answers.
Perry was found unresponsive at his LA home back in October, authorities saying there was no foul play at the scene. According to the autopsy report, Perry's death was ruled an accident due to acute effects of ketamine. The actor had been undergoing ketamine infusion therapy, a supervised medical treatment for substance use and mental health. However, illicit versions can be purchased illegally. The report citing Perry likely fell unconscious and slipped under the water in his hot tub, drowning. Perry was open about his bouts with drug and alcohol use, speaking to our Diane Sawyer just a year before his untimely death.
How will we know when you're in trouble, when you're not okay?
If I say, I'm just going to chill alone at home tonight. And then part two, the other thing, is if I ever say I'm cured.
Well, investigators are telling ABC News that they are speaking with people that might have information. However, no arrests have been made at this time. Guys.
So incredibly sad. All right, Kana, thank you. Coming up next, Matt Gutman is in Indiana about to drive a car into the water live. Matt.
In order to teach people, Robin, how to escape themselves. Every year, hundreds of Americans die when their cars crash into water, which is why I'm going to take this into that body of water. We'll give you a couple of clear, concise tips on how to get out and tell you the one thing you absolutely should not do in a submerged vehicle. Coming up.
Back now on GMA, every year thousands of cars crash in water-related incidents, and with extreme weather, it's only happening more. We're going to show you how to get yourself to safety. Matt Gutman is in Indiana with the Indiana State Police at their logistics facility and their underwater search and recovery team to show us all how it is done. Matt, we have been looking forward to this. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Robin, and I've been nervous about it because every year hundreds of Americans die when their cars crash into bodies of water like that retention pond, or they get swept away in a flash flood. And the tragic part of it is that so many of those deaths are preventable, which is why in just a couple of moments, I'm going to be driving this car over that gravel patch right over there into that lake to offer folks some clear, concise tools that could mean the difference between life and death. I just want to give folks a sense of what all rescuers say. The best way to survive a sinking vehicle is not to get into the water in the first place. About a foot of water can sweep your car away. It can also clog your tailpipe, which means that your car might stall. But before we get started, I just want to give you a sense of all of the safety precautions that we've taken for me and the team. You can see the ambulance over there. Hopefully we don't have to use that. We have this wrecker right there that is going to pull the car out of the water. You can see our safety divers right there. And here, Jamie, you can see we've taken out the back window and put these tow bars in order to grab us out. So before we even get started, I want people to start thinking about this. Seatbelt windows out, and I'm going to get in the car right now before we get going. I have Gordon Giesbrecht with me. He is a vehicle submersion expert. He's got the camera, and back there, Dave Plug with the Indiana State Police, our scuba diver in the car. So I'm going to start this car. Hopefully this thing rolls. It does. And as we watch this piece, I want everybody again to think seatbelt windows out. We're going to get into starting position.
It's a frightening scene where every second counts.
Are you able to open your window?
Drivers trapped in their sinking vehicles.
Shark right here.
As water rushes in. Atlanta police and fire finding this Uber driver, the water pressure against the door making it impossible to open.
Turn your head. Man, what kind of glass? There you go.
The driver later acknowledging he should have just pulled over.
There you go.
He and the drivers in all these cases survived. But a 2019 study revealing that over the course of a year, an estimated 7,900 crashes involved vehicles entering the water, resulting in 429 deaths. Gordon Giesbrecht is a renowned expert on surviving vehicle submersion.
When the water is even a foot or two above the bottom of the door, there's like up to 500 pounds of pressure. That's very difficult to push against.
This leaves the windows as your only exit. But many windows these days are made with laminated glass, which Giesbrecht says can render window-breaking tools ineffective. And in a panic, fumbling to find one could waste critical seconds. He says the best and often only way out is surprisingly simple. Immediately upon entering the water, take your seatbelt off and lower your windows, which will still work, but only for about 60 seconds. Then get out, making sure children go first.
You've got about 1 minute to get out of the vehicle. Do not touch your cell phone until you get out. It'll waste a lot of time and it might be too late. You've got to open the window and get out.
This driver in Texas making a common but often deadly mistake, attempting to drive through water that looks shallow on the surface, unaware of the hidden depth below.
You're driving into the creek. No, 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 no. Stop. Stop. No, no, no.
But even with that critical mistake, she does one thing right. She rolls down that window and gets out. A simple move that can mean the difference between a quick exit and a tragic ending.
bud.
And so we're about to put this into practice. Gordon, you ready?
Ready to go.
Dave, you ready? Okay, we're going to hit it. We're going to try to hit about 25 miles an hour before we hit that ramp. Hopefully, I hit it right. There we go. And here we go. Hold on. Okay, so, I mean, it's a pretty terrifying thing for this to happen. The first thing you want to do, take the seatbelts off and try to make sure that window goes down. But you have to remember that you have a few seconds. So the one thing I do not want folks to do at home is to reach for your phone. It could take up to 15 minutes for rescuers to get to you. This is going to have to be about a self-rescue. Folks are going to have to get themselves out. Okay, so we've all taken out our seatbelts. Don't think about punching out the doors. Just do that. All right, we're starting to take on water. So what you're going to want to do is climb up onto the roof of the car. And once you're up here, it'll give you a bit of time to regroup. You can survey where you are. Also, for rescuers, it's a lot easier to see someone on the roof of a vehicle like this than it is if you're swimming in the water. Now, if you're in swift water and it seems like the car is starting to drift away, you do not want to be swept away. You want to start scanning for a tree, a rock, a lamppost, something to hold on to, and then get into the water. That is something that is critical. So I think it gives you a sense that this car is still holding pretty well and hasn't sunk yet. Robin?
All right, well, we're glad everybody is safe there. And Matt, if you're not able to, as you said, because some people have those braking tools in their car, but if you don't have that and you can't get your window down and the glass doesn't break, what are the next steps then? Hey.
Yeah. I think we're starting to take on some water.
Yeah.
But now, I'm going to jump in the water right now. I'm going to come right on to.
Sergeant Chris Lockman is with us as well, the dive commander with the Indiana State Police. So while Matt is getting back to shore, Sergeant, what do you tell the public in these types of situations, sir?
So just as Matt had said, the Indiana State Police tells the public and people we train to really go with the SWAC method. It's simple. Just as he said and did, you take your seatbelt off first. Once the seatbelt's off, you roll your window down. Your next step is to get out of the vehicle. And if you have any children in the vehicle, make sure you grab those children and make sure they're ready to get out as well before you exit the vehicle.
All good advice there, Sergeant. And Matt, are you okay, Matt? You good?
So, Robin.
Okay.
I'm good. To answer your question, it's a really good question.
All right.
You do not want to rely on those window breaking tools as your first line of defense. Oftentimes, you don't know where it is in the car, center console, glove compartment, and also a lot of newer cars have laminated windows. It's much harder to break through with that. Now, if you're stuck in a car and the windows aren't going down, you can also try to go through the back hatch, especially in an SUV like that. I urge folks to familiarize themselves with how to open the back tailgate. But again, the most simple tool is seatbelt, windows out. You saw that the windows work like 15, 20 seconds after we hit the water. So that is the best method that experts say everybody at home should use. Robin.
Hey, Matt, what about if you have electric vehicles, which more and more people are driving these days?
There haven't been that many studies that have done it, but we understand, and from watching anecdotally, from watching video of it, that they also seem to float in the water for enough time, and their electrical circuits should work for long enough for people to use the exact same method, seatbelt, windows out. Robin.
Okay, how are you doing right now? Because the reason I'm asking is that we read his book, and anxiety is something he's dealt with over the years. And so for you to be able to do this, Matt, are you okay?
I'm great. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I love to do. And, but it does actually give me some insight into how people feel when they crash into the water in the first place, how easy and understandable it is for people to panic. And that's why we urge folks to know you have a little bit of time. Yeah. You're not going to die right away. The car is not going to sink immediately. You can get out of there with those easy to remember tips. Robin.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Matt. Okay, you made me think of my mama. One time I was on live and I was working with Diane and bombs were going off. I was like Baghdad or something and she kept talking to me and my mom was screaming at home, "Shut My girl, run!
But I watched him try to catch his breath because that was one heck of a swim that he did.
Yeah,
but the shock on everyone here in the studio's face when he hit the water, you could see why someone could easily
And
panic.
how quickly it began sinking, he thought he was okay.
Then all of a sudden, man.
Yeah.
He thought fast, too. We're going to stay in the water. Larry and Sam on the USS Bataan to celebrate Fleet Week next. Coming up, Larry and Sam at sea, along with Ray, getting a taste of Navy life on the USS Bataan. Hey, guys.
Hey, George, yes, we are on the USS Bataan, and we are with over 100 sailors as they make their way to New York for Fleet Week. We are so happy to be here, Sam.
We are, and we've got some Sea Cadets. Shout your name and hometown.
Mia Morales from Staten Island, Great Kills.
Rebecca De La Vera from Boston. Jeremy Rose from Rockaway, New Jersey.
You guys did great. All right. We are on this ship just steaming toward New York City, Miss Lara.
We are very excited. We have a lot more coming up from the USS Bataan. We are heading for Fleet Week, honoring those who serve. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Married moms in the suburbs. They've been called soccer moms. They've been called security moms.
Pamela Wilk is a so-called soccer mom.
Those so-called Walmart moms.
She calls herself a hockey mom.
I love those hockey moms.
The hockey mom trying to connect with the soccer moms.
In the 1990s, the idea of soccer moms as the quintessential swing voter took hold. Elections could be won or lost based on a candidate's ability to appeal to them. But were quote-unquote soccer moms actually the deciding factor? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we take a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections with a critical lens. Where did that wisdom come from, and does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.
People who disappear without a trace.
Where is she?
The most notorious murder cases in New York.
Pure evil.
And the most devious killers.
There's a Hannibal Lecter feel to him.
For chilling true crime stories, follow the True Crime NYC podcast wherever you listen.
Look at that crowd on the USS Bataan. What a time Lara and Sam are having.
Yep, they're spending the morning on the USS Bataan as she makes her way to New York to participate in the parade of ships for Fleet Week. Hey, guys.
Hey, Michael, good morning. What a morning it is to be at sea with the U.S. Navy and the incredible crew here aboard the USS Bataan early this morning. 0400 hours.
0400 hours.
0400 hours to be exact. I met up with a Seahawk Navy helicopter to take me out to sea to meet the Bataan. Sam and I both helicoptered out here.
Yeah, but you made that look so good, Lara.
Oh, thank you.
So I got to stay on board last night, bunk up last night, serve some food, some chow in mess hall.
Nice.
Meet some of the sailors and Marines on board.
See what it's really like to live aboard.
See what it's really like.
Very, very cool.
We got a little special. Later this morning, we're going to do a little bagels on board, I think. Just to
Operation Bagel on Board, I believe is what we're calling it, Robin.
Check back with y'all in just a few minutes. Hey there, Ray. But first, a look at the top stories breaking at 8, starting with the tornado outbreak. At least 20 twisters reported in 3 states. So let's go back to Victor Oquendo on the scene in hard-hit Greenfield, Iowa. Good morning again, Victor.
Good morning, Robin. The sheriff's office calling the damage here in Greenfield unimaginable. A tornado tearing right through this small town, snapping trees apart like twigs. Take a look at this one right here. And as we make our way down this driveway, these homes severely damaged, so many others in this area completely destroyed. And if you take a look to this side, that's the yard right there. You can see it's littered with debris. There's even that small boat right in the middle of the yard. Greenfield is just west of Des Moines. Authorities confirming multiple people died and at least a dozen were injured here. Neighbors describing the terrifying experience, saying that within minutes, a tornado upended their lives. Houses leveled, swept right off their foundations. Cars flipped over, the governor proclaiming a disaster emergency for 15 counties. At this point, police believe that they have everyone accounted for, but they haven't given any final numbers yet. The closest hospital also sustained damage, so they've had to set up a triage center at Greenfield High School. This is a very tight-knit community, and they will rebuild, but clearly it's going to take time. George?
Yes, it will. Okay, Victor, thanks. Now to Donald Trump. The former president was playing cleanup yesterday after posting a Nazi phrase on his website suggesting restrictions on contraception in an interview. Let's go back to Rachel Scott. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you again. Yeah, former President Donald Trump is definitely playing some cleanup this morning around these comments that he made. He was asked directly during a local news interview if he would support restrictions on contraception or birth control. The former president said it was something that they were looking at, saying that he would announce his policy position on this soon, only to backtrack hours later. That came after the Biden campaign seized on his words, issuing a statement saying women across the country are already suffering from Donald Trump's post-Roe nightmare. And if he wins a second term, it's clear he wants to go even further. Then the former president reversed course, posting on his social media account, "I never and will never advocate imposing restrictions on birth control or other contraceptives." But, Michael, that is not something that he made clear when he was asked directly about it in that interview, Michael.
All right, Rachel, thank you for pointing that out. We appreciate you. And we turn now to the Stanley Cup playoff. The puck drops on the conference finals tonight. And Will Reeve is back with a preview before he heads over to the Rangers game. Good morning again, Will.
Good morning, Michael. Maybe I'll see you there because 4 teams remain. Eastern Conference Final, Game 1 tonight. The New York Rangers hosting the Florida Panthers. The Rangers had the best record in the NHL this season, and in the playoffs, they've been led by American hero Chris Kreider. He scored 3 goals in a row in Game 6 last round to clinch New York's spot in the conference final. They've also got all-world goalie Igor Shesterkin, and a shout-out to Captain Jacob Trouba. He's an artist on the side, and his wife Kelly is a doctor. She's working nights right now. They have a new baby at home, and it's playoff time. The Panthers are looking to make it back to the Stanley Cup Final for the second year in a row. Perhaps the best American-born player anywhere is Matthew Tkachuk. He's perhaps Florida's best player. They've also got an elite goalie, so many more stars. The Rangers haven't won the Cup in 30 years. The Panthers have never won it. A lot at stake here. Western Conference Final starts tomorrow. That's Dallas versus Edmonton.
You got artist, hockey player, doctor, and baby all in one sentence.
I did, and we root hard for, those Renaissance people. They got a lot going on. We are very excited for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Eastern Conference Final, Game 1 tonight. Madison Square Garden, Rangers, Panthers, ESPN, 8 p.m. I'll be there. You might be there.
I'll be there. I'll see you there tonight.
Cool.
We want a full report for both of you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Coming up on our GMA morning menu, Graceland could be in danger of falling out of Elvis Presley's family's hands, how they are fighting back.
Also ahead, that's Audrey and Gracie, twins who were reunited right here on GMA 7 years ago. Well, now they're graduating high school, and we're celebrating them this morning with a big surprise.
And Jeremy Renner is here live in Times Square. We're also cooking with Chef Dan Churchill. And Sam and Lara on the USS Bataan, sailing into New York for Fleet Week. Hey, guys.
Hey, George. Yeah, learning so much about this amphibious assault ship built in 1997. This is the first ship ever commissioned so that men and women could live aboard.
At the same time.
And it has a superpower.
It has a superpower. We're going to show you what it is when we come back later on this morning, guys. But it's super cool. You wouldn't know it from standing on deck.
Heading to Fleet Week. Thank you guys for having us. We'll see you soon when GMA continues.
Another beautiful summer-like morning here in New York City. We're back with our GMA cover story, the battle for Graceland. A court hearing is scheduled for this morning as Elvis's home faces a possible foreclosure sale. Eva Pilgrim has the latest for us. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Elvis Presley's estate will be in court today for a hearing, hoping to stop an auction to sell Graceland, fighting to keep a major part of the King of Rock and Roll's legacy.
This morning, the future of Graceland could be all shook up. A company being referred to in court papers as Nosany Investments is claiming Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's only child who died in 2023, used the deed to the famous estate as collateral for a loan and never paid it back. They've now put a lien on the house and were planning to auction it off this week. But Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, fighting back with a countersuit, calling it all a scam. A court issuing a temporary restraining order on the sale.
This is an incredibly rare transaction where Lisa Marie Presley allegedly borrows $3.8 million from a private equity group as opposed to a bank. And that's what's called a non-judicial foreclosure.
Elvis Presley purchased Graceland in 1957. Lisa Marie inherited it after he died in 1977, turning it into a museum honoring her father in 1982. The home, a tourist attraction bringing millions of people a year to see where the King of Rock and Roll lived. Speaking to Diane Sawyer in 2003, Lisa Marie opening up about the meaning of Graceland to her.
Does Graceland seem like another world away, or does it still seem like home?
It's kind of a sad thing, a life that existed there at one time in the history, and there was so much life, but it's still home to me very much when I'm there.
Most recently, sitting down with Chris Connolly for the release of the family's movie Elvis. She and star Austin Butler in the famous jungle room.
This is where you would sit and eat breakfast, right?
Sometimes.
What time of day would breakfast be?
5 in the afternoon, 11 at night.
In the newly filed lawsuit, her daughter, Riley Keough, adamant Lisa Marie did not take a loan against Graceland, saying the documents were forged and aren't real, even including an affidavit from the notary on some of the documents saying she never met Lisa Marie and did not notarize the paperwork.
If a judge does decide that this promissory note is enforceable, it really behooves both sides to get together, work out a private payment plan to avoid a foreclosure and preserve the rich history and legacy of Graceland.
Now, ABC News reached out to Riley Keough. She did not comment. Priscilla Presley responded to ABC saying, quote, "Not happening. This is a scam."
That seems that way. Wow.
We'll find out more today.
I know you're going to stay on it for us. Thank you so much, Eva. Let's go back now to Sam on the USS Bataan off the coast of New York with a check of the weather. Hey there, Sam.
Oh, Robin, I wanted to show you this view just because we're on Vulture's Row. It's one of the highest points on the ship, and you can see off the side. We've got more storms that are moving south from where they were yesterday. So let's show you where those storms are today. Look at the orange zone. This is where we think one more time we're going to get the highest threat for some tornadoes and damaging winds. But that storm line does go all the way up into New England, western parts of New York State there. Look at the flooding that came out of Nebraska with some of this rain, and there is more flooding rain with these storms as they sink south. In some cases, we get more than 2 inches of rain.
You know, Sam and Lara have been on USS Bataan all morning long as New York gets ready for Fleet Week. And Lara, you got to be really feeling the excitement out there as you're floating into New York.
I am, Michael. It's unbelievable. We are feeling the excitement and the joy as the ship heads toward New York right now. It is an honor to pay tribute to all those who serve. And Sam is on one of the highest points of the ship. You might have heard of him. It's called Vulture's Row. And Sammy, I know you had the chance to spend the night on the ship and really get a feel for what it's like to live aboard.
Yeah, and Lara, it's tight quarters. Just, it's like you're climbing ladders. You're in tight hallways. My dad was actually a Marine, and Marines were attached to security on ships. So my first naval ship, was at 5 years old. And I got a chance to relive that moment with the folks on board this ship. After a twice extended deployment of nearly 9 months.
Right now, there are more than 2,500 Marines and Navy sailors across the 3 ships in this unit.
The sailors and Marines of the USS Bataan are back home. We got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join them on board as they made their way from Norfolk, Virginia to New York City.
We are well on our way, heading up to Fleet Week, New York.
An amphibious assault warship carrying 1,400 sailors and Marines.
We have very small compartments, but I like to think of it as cozy. And you climb right on up.
This day starts with a stunning sunrise and weapons training. The Bataan's superpower is what's called the well deck, where this LCAC, or Landing Craft Air Cushion, a ship within a ship, can transport vehicles and personnel to land during deployments.
We either load her up and send her to the shore, or we load her up on the shore and bring her to Bataan to bring food and supplies, or to bring back American citizens from places, but also medical supplies.
It's also part of what made the Bataan a critical U.S. presence overseas amid escalating tensions in the Middle East.
So we ended up going up into the northern part of the Red Sea, and we were just up there tracking and reporting and being a secondary line of defense.
Tell me about your crew. You got to be proud of them.
Oh, this crew is fabulous. This is probably one of the best crews I've had. They really get after things.
Hi, how are you? Yes, ma'am.
Chicken, please.
Chicken, is that you?
Yes.
we take chow time to get to know some of the crew. Is this all right? Can I join? What's the hardest part about deployment?
The hardest part for me, deployment, is just the working hours.
Yeah.
It is kind of hard on the body.
Has anybody been in Fleet Week in New York before?
I have.
Is it? Sir, you have?
Yes, sir.
And what was it? Did you tell me the experience?
It was crazy.
Come right, steer course, 0.
It's a destination that means something extra special to Captain Burkhart.
I'll have my change of command, and that's also going to be my retirement. So this is my last Navy port visit ever. I'm from New York. I was born in Little Falls, New York, grew up near Rochester and Buffalo, New York. I've got family that's going to be coming to see me here in New York. It's pretty exciting.
Captain Burkhart, it has been amazing to meet you, to meet your crew. Sometimes you have 3,000 people on board. How do you keep that working so smoothly?
Well, luckily we have a great supply department that keeps everybody fed, and if you keep the sailors and Marines fed, that's morale. So that's what makes them happy to be on board. And then, the sailors all have jobs to do, and so they're working and getting into their battle rhythm. The Marines, they've got exercises that they're training for, and so we keep everybody busy, and that's what kind of makes everything work with having that many people on board all at once.
I want to share something with you because we know you're throwing out a pitch at Yankee Stadium today. DJ LeMahieu is one of your favorite players, right?
He is.
I know you've been practicing in the hold down there, so throwing the balls all across. Here's a cap signed, and also I know your practice ball with your son, by the way.
Yes.
Downstairs or below deck, I guess we say. This ball, a signed ball, may help you put a little spin on that and get that over there.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for being amazing with the crew and for us. Lara, down to you.
Hey, Sam, thank you so much. We have surprises coming up for these men and women who serve, but we do want to share the story of one of the unsung heroes on board this ship, the man who makes sure that all of these men and women who serve are not only fed, but fed well. His name is Senior Chief Jonathan Graciano. He's in the kitchen around the clock preparing meals for over 1,000. Here in the USS Bataan's kitchens,
great job. Keep working as a team.
A team is working around the clock to make sure every mouth on board is fed 4 times a day, 7 days a week.
We have to serve 1,000, almost sometimes 2,000 portions of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Long days at sea. A meal can just break that routine and make them feel like they're back home. It's a great honor to have that.
Senior Chief Jonathan Graciano joined the U.S. Navy 16 years ago as a culinary specialist.
I wanted to travel the world, and the Navy offered that for me. And the courses that the Navy provides for me to be more expert in the culinary field.
Leading the team to build daily menus and oversee the kitchens. Also creating some sweet designs for special events. But his greatest joy is connecting with the next generation.
I joined the military at a very young age. Single mother, joined out of Miami, an immigrant from Colombia. Just didn't have a lot going on for me. Joining the military and having those great leaders that saw something in me, even when I didn't see it. So now that I'm in that position where I can just replicate that and show that to someone, that's what drives me every day.
Senior Chief Jonathan Graciano is with us right now. And hey, I want to congratulate you. I want to brag about you a little bit. The USS Bataan won the 2023 Food Excellence Award from the Navy. How did that feel to be recognized?
Well, it's a great honor to be able to recognize Navy-wide and be the best of the ships out there to represent food service. It has been a great honor. Definitely is a show of the hard work and dedication that we have in the kitchen.
And you guys are fed well, right? You're doing a great job. We're so happy we were able to tell your story and get to know you a little bit. And you're not alone. Commander Carrie Pavin is also with us this morning. She coordinates all of the supplies for this ship. That is a huge undertaking.
Yes, ma'am, it is. Everything from finances to the barbershop to our laundry services and obviously the food services. And then, like I said, all those finances coming in.
Yeah, a very important job. And you're taking it to land now. You're heading to the Pentagon.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be heading up there to do aviation requirements. That is man training and equipping, all things related to aviation across the Navy.
a big job, and we are so grateful for the job that you both do. So thank you very, very much. And we have a mission ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
Sam
and you
and
don't
I
actually have to do any food service or cooking this morning because...
Are we ready for Operation Bagels on Board, sir? Sam, tell us a little bit about this covert operation. We have thousands of bagels. Oh, you're not Mike.
We literally have, thank you, now we do. We literally have thousands of bagels. We probably have 3,000 bagels, so I think we've only got 1,400 on board today.
So doubles for everybody. Seconds,
All right.
help yourselves. We wanted to make sure that you had a day off. You are not working breakfast this morning. Let Good Morning America take care of you, and thank you all for your service. We're so grateful to be a part of this incredible trip heading to New York for the parade of ships honoring those who serve for Fleet Week. It's a wonderful tradition, and we are just thrilled to be a part of it.
From 8:30 to 11:30, if you can line New York Harbor, you will see these ships come in. There's at least 14 of them, guys.
Thank them all for their service. Thank you. And thank you for the shipment that you brought back here. We're going to eat well as like they will on the ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll give one to Jeremy Renner, too. He's here next.
The first ever criminal trial of a former president is underway in Manhattan. It's one of potentially 4 trials facing former President Trump as he makes his third bid for the White House. What do voters think about his culpability, and would a guilty verdict make a difference in the election? I'm Galen Druk, and every Monday and Thursday on the 538 Politics podcast, we break down the latest news from the campaign trail. We sort through the noise and zoom in on what really matters, using data and research as we go. That's 538 Politics every Monday and Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts.
And welcome back. An Oscar-nominated actor, Marvel star, Jeremy Renner, now starring in season 3 of the crime thriller series Mayor of Kingstown. Welcome back. Great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
So we have not had you in the studio since your snowplow accident. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty great. How am I looking? Right?
You look good.
Right? Yeah. I feel actually pretty strong from starting the season this year. Was the beginning of the year was a little dicey, in strength-wise, but by the end of it, usually you're pretty shattered, energy-wise. But I feel pretty strong.
Is it stamina or strength?
It's both. Really, like the endurance was not very good, but I'm kind of better on both ends right now. And I feel really strong and really happy.
Well, we're happy that you're better. That happened in 2023.
Yeah.
You just posted a video of you running. I mean, look like you're ready for the NFL. That's all I'm saying. So what's the next goal in your recovery?
Speaking of NFL, I always try to do get like a 4.540. But it's not really about running a 4.540. It's more about just setting intention and setting goals. And with trying to sprint like that is just agility, and movement is pretty important to me in my life. And so I was working with Brooks and Brooks Running and all them. They've helped me a lot through getting more strength and more agility. So I'm really happy with working with them.
And I know we saw that video, but you have a book coming out.
Yeah, I'm working on that. That's something pretty healing and cathartic for me and things to unpack throughout the sort of the near-death experience and the life and death and all things recovery and things learned throughout that process. Every time I've spoken about it with people, and I speak about it a lot, I always learn something else. So I'm putting it all together in a book and hopefully get it done by this year. So,
right.
Thank you for allowing us in, the public, your journey and being there along with you. But Mayor of Kingstown again. All right. Being back on the set after the year that you had. I know you said the stamina, the strength, but what was it like being back at work?
It was. I had to cross the threshold of like, do I want to go tell fictional stories? And I'm worried about real life, putting a foot in front of another to walk, right? So once I crossed that, and I had the production was really great, and I had to literally physically lean on and emotionally lean on the cast and the crew in this to get through the days. But they compensated with scheduling and stuff so I can get stronger. I think what would happen, we just switched the thinking of the whole thing. I didn't go to Pittsburgh to film Mayor of Kingstown. I went to go in my recovery, and then Kingstown was kind of on the side, at least sort of like.
So is that the barrier you had to cross?
Well, yeah, it's sort of like I think the perspective I had to shift. Otherwise, I'm a person that really gets, I just bite down and I kind of go headstrong into it. My mind thinks I'm like, perfect, right? My body's saying like, dude, you're a hot mess. Chill out, put on the brakes, man. Right? So, but again, nothing's wrong with my brain. I guess even though it got crushed, it doesn't need to walk. So I think it's just the thinking of like I can do anything, but it propels me to get through every day and with a smile on my face. So.
Well, let's take a look at you playing the mayor.
Oh yeah.
Mitch would come every Wednesday like clockwork. Something to look forward to. Something to sustain. He became my anchor, and for months, that was all I had.
I tell you, I'm such a big fan of this show.
Yeah.
It's got so many twists and so many turns. It's direct in your face.
Yeah.
What can fans like myself expect?
It's a lot more of this, a lot more of that. I think when there's explosions and it really does punch you in the face. This show, right? It really does. But there's also some, I call them like safe landing spots, a little bit more emotional, intimate, so you can kind of have a reprieve from, because it can be kind of hard and harsh and stuff, right? It's pretty tough. But I found also there's more sentiment to it. Because I think I sort of had to bring it in just because where I was at in my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike McCluskey is still pretty aggro, but I think he's a little softer as well. Just sort of because I had to play him,
Yeah, but you are a man of many, many talents. Of course, the acting, we're looking forward to the book, music.
Yeah.
Your EP, Love and Titanium. I love that title.
Yeah. Well, that came with doing the interview, and that was one thing kind of shared and kind of made it become a reality, and it was pretty healing for me to do with my daughter, and so in writing, and then also just writing with my friends and family actually on that album. It was great to share and. Pretty healing. I think music's really wonderful.
What a great moment for the two of you to have together. That is great to see.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
So you have Camp Renner coming up this summer?
Yeah, there's a camp they do with the Renovation Foundation, and it deals with foster youth mostly, but just anything for kids. I'll do anything for a kid. So we put together this amazing camp for them on the shore of Lake Tahoe this summer.
Nice.
And just give them kids need opportunities, and they'll thrive if you give them that. So these foster kids are in desperate need of great opportunities.
It's a great thing to do. Thank you for coming back. It's great to see you looking so well.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Season 3 of Mayor of Kingstown premieres Sunday, June 2nd on Paramount Plus. And coming up, these twins were reunited on GMA 7 years later. They are graduating from high school. We are going to celebrate them.
What a morning this has been here on GMA. And now we are revisiting one of our most memorable moments on the show, one that has been viewed more than 38 million times and counting. You're going to remember, I'm sure, Audrey and Gracie, twin girls, separated at 15 months, adopted from China. They met for the first time in real life right here on GMA.
Well, now they're each the valedictorian of their class. We're going to talk to them in a moment, but first, take a look.
Come over here and stand right here. Okay. It's the emotional reunion that brought us all to tears. Come on out and meet your sister. 11-year-old twin sisters, Audrey and Gracie, meeting for the first time on Good Morning America in 2017.
How are you two feeling right now?
Excited, happy. It's very overwhelming.
The two separated and adopted from China at 15 months into two different American families.
Just felt like we weren't complete. Really would love to have a daughter.
Adoption seemed like a great way to add to our family.
The family separately adopting the twins the summer of 2007. The Dorings taking Audrey to Wisconsin. The Rainsberries taking Gracie to Washington State. Over the years, Jennifer grows curious about Audrey's past and discovers this photo in 2016. Audrey on her foster mother's knee with another identical baby.
As soon as I had that picture, I was desperate to find out who that other child was.
Since meeting on GMA, and despite living 1,700 miles apart, the twins have seen each other about twice a year, spending birthdays together. even traveling internationally. Now, both girls valedictorians of their high school class. Audrey graduating this week, Gracie by her side to celebrate. Come on, y'all, let's welcome Audrey and Gracie. Back here on GMA. Michael and I kept saying, we're like, we cannot believe that was 7 years ago. Let me start with you, Audrey. What's been the best part of getting to know your sister?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our situation is not like other twins. You know, we met 7 years ago, but we've just had so many amazing opportunities, and we've been able to travel together and experience so many firsts, which has been special. And I think just the best part is spending time with each other, getting to experience like little bits of our lives together, and just seeing how we've matured, but how we're still very similar.
Yeah, and I know, Gracie, you flew in for Audrey's graduation. And congratulations to both of you valedictorians. Let's just say that. That's amazing in itself. But what is it like to share these milestones with your sister?
It's been really special. I'm so glad that I was able to go down to Wisconsin and celebrate Audrey. Of course, like as Audrey mentioned, our dynamic is not ideal. It's not like most twins, but I'm so glad that I was able to just go down and be with Audrey on her special day, and then when I graduate, she's going to be able to come to Washington
in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm excited.
All right, so you're heading to Vanderbilt.
Yes.
All right, you're going to Eastern Oregon. You were recruited to play soccer.
Yes.
All right, so what are you most excited about going forward, and what are your dreams now?
Yeah. I'm really excited to honestly just get out of the house, you know, kind of have my own independence. Love my parents, but I'm kind of just ready to be on my own. I mean, every 18-year-old is. So, yeah, I'm just excited to explore my career and all that. So,
yeah, like Gracie said, I'm excited to be on my own, especially because Nashville is so far from Wisconsin. So I'm just excited to explore all my different options. And Vanderbilt and Nashville, there's so many amazing opportunities. So I'm just excited to take advantage of everything. And in the future, I plan on going to medical school.
Oh,
so, yes.
Yeah, I know you both have an interest in when it comes to medicine, and part of that is because you're big fans of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, like a lot of us are.
Yep.
Well, this is one of the first surprises that we have for you. Take a look.
Hi, Audrey and Gracie. Congratulations on graduating and being valedictorians, and thanks for being fans of the show.
Just wanted to congratulate you on your upcoming graduation. Understand that you are both valedictorians. How cool is that? Well, I'm wishing you much success in all of your future endeavors. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for both of you. God bless. Much love.
He's OG. He's been there from the very beginning.
Season, yeah.
All right, ready for some more surprises?
Sure.
Okay, so we know that you all like to get together and you're kind of far apart. So our friends at Expedia are going to provide you with, let me get this right, Expedia is going to give you $5,000 in one key cash so you can travel and visit one another.
Wow,
yeah.
Thank you.
So
Wow.
Because that kind of adds up when you're trying to get to see each other like that.
For sure.
Okay.
It's amazing. Thank you.
So our friends from Expedia, $5,000 in key cash.
Yeah, now you're independent. It's on your schedule. You can do whatever you want. But we're not done. We're not done. We got a little something else for you. I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. Well, we've known you both are, you have nearly full scholarships to your schools.
Congratulations.
You both have been doing so incredible. Congratulations on that. But Sally Mae, which is the Education Solutions Company, wants to make sure you're totally set once you get to college. So they're going to give you each $10,000 to put towards your meal plans, your books, and whatever else you want to do. So how does that feel? Is that going to help you?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're the crier. You're the crier over there. Oh, thank you all both.
Thank you both for coming back.
Yeah, for allowing us to stay in touch in that, and just so very, very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us back.
Yeah.
We won't wait 7 years.
No,
Okay,
I thought it was 2 years.
I know,
and
yeah.
I see it's like 7 years. I mean, you two are just absolutely amazing, and we're so happy that you allowed us to show you Reunited right here on GMA, and then to come back and show just how well you two are doing, and valedictorians, and I was second in my class. Robin was second in her class.
He only had 2 in his class.
I didn't want to. That wasn't important, Robin. It wasn't important, but we're so proud of the both of you.
We really are.
Thank
you.
so
Stay in
much.
touch.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yes.
Take care.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Sam now on the USS Bataan.
She was smart.
Hey guys, we just wanted this morning do a quick check of the weather. We want to thank our friends at Baz Bagels for bringing the bagels for our sailors and Marines on board. Hey, we're going to show you a beautiful shot of Fort Lauderdale, and it is gorgeous there, but you've got nothing on us in New York today because we're going to be 83 to 85, and this is Fleet Week. We are coming in moments from now. Here's our Thursday travel map. We're going to look for some thunderstorms right along the I-95 corridor and another day of tough storms right in the heartland of America.
We're just all hugging here. We're just all hugging, coming around. Coming up, we got Chef Dan Churchill with how to get dinner on the table in just 15 minutes.
Oh, we're back with my guy, Dan Churchill. And Dan's got a new cookbook out called Eat Like a Legend. It's filled with healthy, easy, and quick recipes. And he's going to show us how to get dinner on the table in just 15 minutes. Dan, welcome back to GMA,
my guy.
friend.
Appreciate
Great to see
you,
you, man.
Great to see you, dude.
Well, we're going to start with some, what do you call it, empty the fridge fried rice.
Yeah.
What kind of vegetables using this thing? I got a lot of stuff for the fridge.
Well, anything, man. That's the point at this. It's like the idea is that we all sometimes have leftovers in our fridge. And instead of having to be so complicated about a recipe, you can just use whatever you got. So, for example, over here we just got some onion, garlic going on, which is something we always have. Some carrot. We got some ginger, some chili. But these things can also, to save even more time, can be all chucked into a food processor and working its magic. Then once you stir that around for like 3 to 4 minutes, what do you got? Go for it. Oh yeah, look at that. We got here just some frozen veggies. Now, you can kind of pick these up as a frozen section in any supermarket, or if you have leftover things in your fridge, you can just do the same thing. And once you get that to like a nice caramelization after like 3 to 4 minutes, you whack in that.
Just throw the veggies right in there, whatever you got in the refrigerator.
Exactly.
But the rice, okay? I like that little crispy bit.
Oh, I got you.
How do you get the crispy bits on the rice?
My secret, dude, is to actually get that base of just the rice in the pan. Do not stir it. Just let it sit just for a little bit longer and avoid that. And then all of a sudden, when you really think it's the last moment, start getting your spoon in there because you get that nice crispy base in the bottom.
It's hard not to stir.
I know. You got patience?
A little bit. But I don't know if I got enough of that.
So once the other thing about rice is sometimes you have like rice left over in the fridge and like I don't know what to do with it. It can be like you're just sitting there. So just chuck it in a pan like this with a bunch of veggies and all these wonderful sauces. So we got some simple lemon juice in here. We've got some soy sauce. We got some honey. All those game changers. Really simply put together. So if I break this down, you've done some base ingredients. Whatever veggies you had left over, you have your leftover rice. And that's all you got in the pan. And you got yourself a pretty nice meal there. Top it off with extra protein. Today we got an egg right here. And that's all we got. Really simply done. So, when was the last time you made a bam like that?
That's so easy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one other thing I love, the book is interactive.
Yeah. It is. You got QR codes. Are you a visual guy?
Yes, I am.
When you were doing your plays back in the day, did you like having on the screen?
I need to see it written down.
So for me, I wanted to create a QR code experience so people could cook along. Any of the stuff that's hard to kind of work through text, we create a video experience. People like QR code goes straight to my YouTube and you can see it all there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love that part. And now you're going to show us how to make lightning quick fish tacos with super slaw. Okay, how fast can you make them?
Well, ready, set the time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. We've got 3 different things in here. We've got paprika, garlic powder, and some salt. All right, so they're just going to go straight in, just like that. You're going to mix them around. Now, if you had a bit of extra time, you can let them sit and kind of marinate, but who cares? Sometimes we just don't.
Now, we're on the clock
Exactly.
here.
So I'm going to put some oil on a little flat top here. As you can see, we've got some fish tacos working. Going to just kind of lay them out. Oh, yeah, give me some sizzle.
Yeah.
Straight like this. And then all of a sudden they've been working for a bit. And the thing about fish, everyone gets intimidated to cook for it, make sure it's cooked through, etc. If you cook them into like these little small strips, it takes much more quick time.
Like that.
That's
Bam.
simple.
And you use corn tortillas?
I'm a big corn guy.
So you said we should eat more corn tortillas?
We should, man. We
Why?
should. Low carb, much low carb. In my opinion, you don't have a lot of the other stuff that can be in flour to make it preserved. So I think corn's a better way to go. Although, if you're in the South and you love your breakfast tacos, you still got to go flour, I must admit.
Okay.
Corn to me is much more flavorful. Over here, we've got a really, really simple slaw. We have cabbage. And all you need to do is add some acidity. In this case, we've got lemon juice. You can also add any other acidity you like, even just like white wine vinegar if you want. In there, we've got some pepper, some salt, whack in our herbs over there, my man. That's
There
it.
you go.
Stir it up a little bit, and obviously the more you let this sit, the better, and we can start making a taco. How about that?
All right, we got
Let's do
30 seconds left. What we got?
this. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit of fish here. How
Yep.
much have you been lifting today?
Yeah, I have been.
Okay,
I need
my
a
guy.
little-
So you
I
need
it,
extra
it.
protein.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
Like that. Here is
avocado.
your avocado on top, and so we've got the dressing that's hot.
Thank
Caliente.
you.
There you go.
Well, caliente. I got to try this when we come back because I'm doing a commercial break. But you know what? This is fantastic. Thank
Appreciate you,
Dan.
man.
Great to see
Appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you for being back. Dan's new cookbook. It is out now, and you can get these recipes on GoodMorningAmerica.com. You guys stay right there. We'll be right back.
And we had a little ray of sunshine out on the ship.
Yes.
Thanks again to Lara and Sam for that great Fleet Week celebration.
Married moms in the suburbs. They've been called soccer moms. They've been called security moms.
Pamela Wilk is a so-called soccer mom.
Those so-called Walmart moms.
She calls herself a hockey mom. I love those hockey moms.
The hockey mom trying to connect with the soccer moms.
In the 1990s, the idea of soccer moms as the quintessential swing voter took hold. Elections could be won or lost based on a candidate's ability to appeal to them. But were quote-unquote soccer moms actually the deciding factor? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we take a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections with a critical lens. Where did that wisdom come from, and does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.